When I was 18, and I was thinking about where I'd be in 10 years' time when I was 18, I was thinking I'd be here. Now I have like a voice as this generation, but how do I become the next Rupert Murdoch? That's what I'm trying to think of becoming when I'm 50. Mm-hmm. That is my thought now.
Become the man you hate.
Now, Brendan, let's start with you, mate. Oh, why me? Because I heard that you just came back from a gnarly trip in the Great Barrier Reef. So? Yeah, I'm just trying to get everyone to like me.
Jordan Shanks, aka FriendlyJordies, is a YouTube content creator, comedian, and political satirist who has proven that one of the greatest ways to grow on YouTube is to wear $2 wigs, dump on BuzzFeed, and impersonate a Turkish dude from your high school. Despite somehow not aging a single day between 2013 and 2020, Jordan Shanks, aka FriendlyJordies, has most certainly changed the quality and flavour of his content over his 7 years on YouTube. FriendlyJordies has gone from a 23-year-old politics student who at one point couldn't even get work in the mainstream media to one of the most influential content creators of the 2010s, with his social media reign very likely to continue strongly into the 2020s. In this video, we're going to explore the rise of FriendlyJordies, and we're going to discuss everything, including the origins, motives, video styles, and especially the mindset of FriendlyJordies. So buckle up, fellas.
When I started out FriendlyJordies, for instance, I liked doing comedy, I liked presenting, I liked eating raw squids, and it all just emerged as a result of just pursuing things of just going, nah, I don't like doing that, I do like doing that, nah, I don't like doing that, and then just discuss.
So where did FriendlyJordies come from, and what were his initial motives for beginning YouTube? Jordan Shanks has actually explained that FriendlyJordies came from about 2 minutes of thinking. It was the first name that came off the top of his head.
I've put in the first name that I thought of off the top of my head, which is like, I don't know, FriendlyJordies, what does it mean? Fuck it, I'll think of it later and come up with an excuse that I use at interviews for the actual name of it. That's pretty much it. I came up with a story for it and go, and then one day it just hit me. I'm friendly. My name is sort of Jordan. Aussies like nicknames. That is way more thought than I actually put into that.
FriendlyJordies has also explained that the reason why he began YouTube was because he was unsuccessful in landing employment in traditional media outlets.
Okay, so when I started the FriendlyJordies channel, it was, I just tried to get into like mainstream media, and then I just realized this is f***ed. And so I started, moving out of it, and then I realized that you could do stuff on YouTube, so I just, because I was behind the times by 10 years. And so I just started going, oh yeah, okay, well I'll just go down that path then. And then I started making videos.
Which is now quite ironic because he's also talked about how a bunch of those same media outlets have now approached him on numerous occasions begging to employ him. And he always makes sure to blow them off and burn the bridge.
It is sick when people come up to you and they say, hey, would you like to work for one of our major networks that everybody in the world dreams about working at? And it's pay and you don't get to say whatever you want like you currently do at the moment. And then you can just go, and you don't even care if you burn 1 billion bridges on it because you are...
Following the idea for his channel name and as well as a lack of success in finding traditional employment, the FriendlyJordies YouTube channel was then created on the 13th of February 2013. And young Shanksy, being 23 years old at the time, uploaded his first video on the 15th of February 2013. And as the top comment says most accurately, the birth of a legend. FriendlyJordies hit the ground running in 2013, uploading a total of 64 videos before the year was over. The first 6 months of the FriendlyJordies YouTube channel was primarily relatable Australian culture content.
You know how most universities have advertising of students sitting on lawns? Come to UNSW because what's better than sitting down? That happens maybe 5 times in your entire academic career.
And abstract skits? Some of these don't even make any sense, like watch this video.
Yeah. Hey, it's me on wheels. I go to this meaty bar. I hope it fills you up because I'm not getting you anything else, okay?
But as Geordie himself stated, when you start something new, you're not going to be good at it.
And so when you're starting something new, accept that there's going to be a lot of negative feedback. There's going to be a lot of people saying you suck. And the fact of the matter is, you do suck. It's not nice. But who said life is nice? Probably Oprah Winfrey.
As 2013 progressed, the video High School Heroes was created, which explained some of the hilarious characters that FriendlyJordies encountered during his formative school years. Despite being a hilarious video in itself, there was one specific character that was born from this video, Joseph. It was later explained that the name Joseph was a code word. His actual name was Yilmaz.
Yilmaz!
And on the 2nd of December 2013 began the infamous Chronicles of Yilmaz series. Yilmaz was a Turkish kid from FriendlyJordies school who basically represented that one Australian Middle Eastern kid that we all had in our school. And that's probably why this series was extremely successful amongst FriendlyJordies' particularly Australian audience: relatability. We all had that one Wog, Lebo, or Middle Eastern kid who had those exact same hilarious behaviour patterns as Yilmaz. And this point of relatability should not be dismissed lightly because it comes back in a strong way later in this video. Because this is also possibly where FriendlyJordies really started to get a feeling for how quickly you can grow on the internet through posting videos that people simply relate to. The Chronicles of Yilmaz ended up being so successful that over a 6-year period, FriendlyJordies made another 12 episodes of the Chronicles of Yilmaz, each episode featuring a new dumb relatable thing that Yilmaz would do. It should also be mentioned that in Chronicles of Yilmaz 6, posted on February 24th, 2014, FriendlyJordies claimed to be celebrating the 10,000 subscriber mark, almost exactly 1 year after creating the channel.
Friends, to celebrate the 10,000 subscribers mark,
Population of Aladella!
home of the famous 2 bus services a day to get to the closest train station.
It's only 60 k's away, why don't you just walk?
Good point. Don't care what the answer is.
10,000 subscribers in 1 year is not a bad effort, considering most people give up after their first video doesn't get 1 million views on the first day. 10,000 subscribers in the first year really highlights FriendlyJordies' strong work ethic and understanding of what would be relatable to the general Australian teen or maybe early adult. On top of this, in Chronicles of Yilmaz 8, 3 months later in May 2014, Jordan claimed to have hit the 15,000 subscriber mark, approximately 1 year and 3 months after beginning the FriendlyJordies channel.
I was originally going to wait until we hit the 20,000 subscriber mark, but that number has been pushed forward by 5,000 people purely because this shirt is so great.
It was obvious that FriendlyJordies was on a strong growth trajectory from the start. However, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves talking about 2014 and 2015. We will get to discussing FriendlyJordies' hilarious Facebook viral festival spoofs, as well as very specific goonbag barley drinking references that no one except Australians between the ages of 15 and 25 would understand. However, before we go there, we have to discuss one final thing that happened to FriendlyJordies in 2013. On the 1st of September 2013, FriendlyJordies posted his first political-based video on the channel, the Australian election 2013. In this 2.5-minute video, FriendlyJordies had the opportunity to establish himself as an authority figure in the Australian political landscape, and possibly where Jordan Shanks decided that creating political videos could be his motive for making society a better place.
Mostly because I did a video on the 2013 elections, and then my good friend Tom, who's the producer of FriendlyJordies, was just like, you should be taking the videos in that direction because that's a good market, untapped. Actually provides a social good.
In order for any YouTuber to grow on this platform, there has to be a motive, agenda, or purpose behind why they want to create their videos. We've talked about this on the channel here before. Jordan Shanks has stated numerous times that his goal with FriendlyJordies has been to change the political landscape for the better.
My staff, I didn't know how I was going to pay them. I just stuck it through. And said, guys, can I just owe you money for the next couple of months? And they said, yeah. And you know why? Because they were passionate about the enterprise as well. Because we were thinking about something bigger than ourselves. Because we were actually thinking about, we want to change the direction of this country. We stuck through the hard times together as a team.
So how does he do this? His aim is to make politics seem like an enjoyable experience or topic. His initial goal was to, quote, make the democratic process hip.
Basically what you got to do is make it cool, like they tried to do with drugs in the 80s. Make it just say no campaigns, and didn't that work out terrific? So it's pretty much the same as that. You just have to, that's what I reckon it is. You have to make the democratic process hip.
Or as he puts it more sinisterly on his second channel.
Look, I just did one about school snacks. And the reason that I did it is because I know that it'll get clicks. It's pretty evil, but I'm trying to also just be like, school snacks, yay, and look at that one, I just done Carouge. Bill Shorten wasn't that bad.
According to a Daily Mail interview, FriendlyJordies called this combining your natural skills with a public service. I think it's a good thing to do. It keeps you sane. And this is a huge benefactor for why FriendlyJordies has had insane success on YouTube. It was able to tap into a niche that has barely been explored by anyone on the platform before, or potentially in any avenue. I'm just a pretty standard bloke, but I've never heard of anyone whose agenda behind any of their actions in life was to make voting seem cool. Except maybe like that bloke on the sausage sizzle at the front on voting day. We all know that motherfucker is there just to try and come and get you to vote. So likely around 2013 or 2014, FriendlyJordies had his long-term motive for growing the channel, to make politics seem hip and to change the political landscape for the better. Now he needed a strategy to change that political landscape. What did FriendlyJordies have at the time of making that discovery? He had the strong understanding of what a young Australian audience would find extremely relatable, as well as a vast knowledge of the Australian political landscape. Now he had the opportunity to combine these two together. There are two sides to the extreme here. Jordan probably could have pumped out only political content, but the market is likely fairly thin for Australian political content, and it's also possible that young people aren't interested in politics enough to keep the attention on his channel.
Like, nobody wants to know about politics. No one wants to know about Australian politics. So you're fighting an uphill battle. The way that I used to do it was to also release a piece of content that was like, you can relate as an Aussie, can't you? Music festivals.
On the other hand, if he was only posting relatable Australian content, his market might again be a bit thin, and his desire to get young people interested in politics just wouldn't be fulfilled. No, he had to combine them together, which he has done with excellent conviction. Here's some examples of how FriendlyJordies combined his relatable Australian content in with his political content. And then in a lot of examples, actually combining the relatable Australian content with the political content in the same video. Such as this video posted in June 2015, Why You'll Never Own a House.
In a time when Australia's housing prices have ballooned to 5 times the average wage of Australians, giving us the 3rd most expensive houses in the world,
And look, it's counterproductive to point the finger at anyone. Both parties are to blame.
it's entirely John Howard's fault.
Let's discuss 2015, because it was around this time that FriendlyJordies really took advantage of the Facebook algorithm to get some explosive growth on his YouTube channel. A play that we've never really seen from any other YouTuber besides maybe those really mediocre fake prank channels. Around late 2014 or 2015 was when tagging your friends on Facebook became a popular practice. And at this point, even simply liking a Facebook post would make it show up on everyone's Facebook feed. FriendlyJordies gained huge traction on Facebook, and every standard Aussie bloke would tag their mates in the highly relatable posts. Some notable mentions being Sydney Lockout Laws, Goon, Schoolies, and Stereosonic, all with around the 1 million views mark. Jordan later stated that he stopped growing the channel through Facebook as the algorithm changed, making Facebook growth much harder to attain.
The way that I used to do it was to also release a piece of content that was like, you can relate as an Aussie, can't you? Music festivals. But then Facebook changed its algorithm, so growth had just stagnated for all of 2018. You can see the bind I'm in. What's your player gonna do, yo? You're gonna play the game. So your only avenue now is YouTube, and you have to do what YouTube wants.
And from a relatively basic third-party perspective, this is how FriendlyJordies continued from 2015 all the way up to 2018, or late 2018, early 2019, when Jordan introduced the new format for his channel. But before we discuss the recent FriendlyJordies format, we have to make a pit stop in June 2017. This is when the Jordan Shanks YouTube channel began. This channel gave an opportunity for everyone to peer into the mind of Jordan Shanks and see how he really thinks when making his videos.
Which is the same thing that happened with FriendlyJordies. And which I am a YouTube creator of, and you should check that out, by the way. That's the main source of the cash cow. This is kind of just a passion project, if you will. And that's the reason why I started up this self-help channel as well, is because, again, I'd outgrown what I wanted in life. What I originally wanted was to become a comedian. That has happened. So now I'm at this stage where, yeah, I'm informing people about politics. Yeah, I'm traveling the world.
Jordan claims to have read over 300 self-help books starting at, as he claims, 1 year after finishing school, which would have made him about 19.
I was glad that I learned about self-help at a relatively young age. I think it was 19 or 20, because I remember I started doing this at the very beginning of my self-help journey, maybe when I was 19 or whatever.
So he's been studying self-help for 10 years. And according to the rule of 10,000 hours, that would most certainly make him an expert in the field. For this reason, every video on the Jordan Shanks YouTube channel is dedicated to the art of self-help and self-improvement, with each video usually being devoted to a certain self-help principle. There is a multitude of topics, anywhere from being an incel to managing time correctly. On top of the hours of valuable self-help content, the videos on the channel also lend a huge insight into how the mind of Jordan Shanks operates while making the FriendlyJordies content. Jordan originally marketed the Jordan Shanks YouTube channel through FriendlyJordies. However, as time progressed and the Jordan Shanks channel has grown to over 60,000 subscribers, it's likely that a large chunk of Jordan Shanks subscribers have never even heard of FriendlyJordies. So it's well and truly at the point where each channel complements each other with a bit of cross growth. As of the date of posting this video, the Jordan Shanks channel has recently had a huge spurt in growth coming from a string of successful videos relating to coronavirus and having to stay at home. And in my opinion, I think this channel is going to continue growing and probably overtake FriendlyJordies because the market is practically unlimited. But hey, we'll wait and see.
The reason that I want to do this in the long term is because at this point, I think I'm good. Frankly, what I'd like to do is just grow this channel my entire life. That would be great. Like, honestly, focusing on politics, I feel like, is something that is nourishing for my soul, but this is nourishing for my soul and, like, happy. La, 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 la. But you gotta focus on the negative in life as well, because otherwise it just doesn't get better, does it? Who will clean up this mess? But, you know, like, this channel gives me profound joy. So I would like to just focus on this.
Well, let's go back to discussing the growth of FriendlyJordies. In late 2018, early 2019, Jordan decided to introduce a new format for the channel. Jordan decided to change the format of FriendlyJordies as he claimed on his second channel that he had reached the peak of his market.
Obviously, I've just gone on to a different endeavor on YouTube, which is to just pump out a bunch of bullshit content. Because that's the only way that the algorithm responds. It's like a leaky bath. You just have to keep filling it up with videos. And how do you do that? You have to do really shallow content and lots of it. Now, does that mean that I've stopped the actual in-depth stuff where I research something for 2 weeks straight? No, I still do that, but as a result of there being new content on there, yeah, instantly, as soon as you do it, subscriber base jumps to the highest it's ever been in the entire experience of FriendlyJordies, because I'm doing what the algorithm wants to reach more people so that you're actually competing with mainstream media outlets in real time. The only way to do that is to pump out more content. That's it. That's what YouTube wants. That's what you've got to give YouTube.
There's only so many young Australians that he might be able to get interested in politics who might relate to drinking goon in Bali. He felt as though he had hit a ceiling, and to break through that ceiling like Charlie and Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, he had to start discussing the cutest breeds of dogs. Not that specifically, but he had to start creating content that would appeal to a wider audience. And this format has proven to be very successful for FriendlyJordies, going from 200,000 subscribers at the start of 2019, when the format was changed, doubling to 400,000 at the time of filming this at the start of 2020. And that's where we're at now. Jordan continues to pump out political and relatable Australian content on the FriendlyJordies channel, as well as doing daily uploads on the Jordan Shanks channel. So what's next for FriendlyJordies? Jordan claimed in a recent video that he was planning on doing some self-help seminars, and seeing that he's now doing daily uploads on his Jordan Shanks channel, I get the vibe that he's really starting to move in the direction of trying to become the next self-help god. It seems like he's a bit tired of the political content and gets a little bit more fulfillment out of doing the self-help content. I could be wrong, but hey, that's just my 2 cents. If you guys want to watch more about Jordan and where he might be going in the future, make sure after this video you go and check out Where Will You Be at 50 with Neil Kolhatkar. This is an excellent insight into where Jordan might be in the future. I'll leave you guys with one final clip from Where Will You Be at 50, but go check it out. If you guys could also like and subscribe, I'd appreciate the hell out of that, but other than that, peace.
I should be very happy where my life is, because on paper, I got it all, man. But like, I think, yeah, what's happened is I am happy doing what I'm doing now, but I see where it needs to go.